Hello, all you hardcores out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Poker's Corner. Welcome back to part two. We're just waiting for Andy, who's not from Aberdeen, to join us or honour us with his presence in his bat cave. So, can't remember if Andy were down in some liquor, in the hard liquor, but he'll be joining us in a second. Been on here a while now with me, Andy, hasn't he, Andy? Now he's a bit of a regular. So, where are you, Andy? So, I had a few emails off a few people wanted to come on channel. Send me a WhatsApp number. I'll call you on video. And if I think that there's a spark there, or we're going to get on, or I'm going to enjoy it with you, you're welcome. If not, you will not be coming on. How are you doing, Andy, lad?
Not bad, pal, yourself.
All right. Have you been to drain the main vein?
I've been there. What did you get for your Christmas? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I got what did I get? I got aftershave and stuff like that, bits of stuff like boxer shorts and that. Me cousin's husband give me he got a present for me uncle, and they sent wrong part to him Volvo, so I ended up with these like, them like reflector things that go on your windows,
Wind deflectors, huh?
wind deflectors. I don't know what they do. Like, is it more aerodynamic?
Means you can have your window open a wee bit, and if it's raining, water won't come in or stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, eh?
That's it. That's it. I've got them on it. I stuck them on. Like, I've gone all pimp my ride.
Used
I
to have
see
them on
it.
my Type R, huh?
Hey,
I used to have them on my Type R, then. They were all
yeah,
right,
well,
actually, yeah.
my cousin's husband says, "Do you want them?" I said, "I'll have them." So, oh, go on and do it, Mark.
Look at
314,
that. Look at
1600.
that. My brother got me this book for my Christmas. 70s family cars. Family cars of the 70s. The
Only
good, the
pony
bad.
cars in 70s, Andy.
Sorry?
One car's pony in 70s,
Oh,
British.
mega. Always wanted a big Armada, eh? A big, there's Hillman Avengers and all sorts in here. Mark IV Cortinas. Ah, it's a
He,
good read, that.
this guy tried to race me the other day in an Austin Princess.
There's
I
one on the
swear,
front page.
yeah, that, yeah, well, I swear to God, right? I thought, I'm sure his front end were lifting up. Well, what's going on here? He looked nice, like, what you like, but seats in it like settees, aren't they?
Crushed velour.
Hey?
Then you got the Austin Ambassador came after that. It was a kind of facelift
Um,
princess, wasn't
I remember, do you remember the other week when we were on about Triumph Stag V8s? All they were two four-cylinder Dolomites welded together, weren't they?
it? That's it. They were kind of merged together. Yeah, they were underdeveloped. I think they had loads of overheating issues when they first came out. I think the radiator was too thin on them as well. People
Yeah.
fit thicker radiators to them now.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay, getting back to this with the Gypsy Loser. Do you think Bad Living caught up with him and then, or his ego?
Yeah, well, bad love. Remember we said a while back. I think his best days have gone by him maybe a couple of years ago, and it's all caught up with him. And he's probably thinking, well, there's loads of heavyweights like George Foreman fought in their 40s. George Foreman, he trained harder. Remember Angelo Dundee saying nobody actually realised how hard George Foreman trained, in that comeback thing. After I think he was 38 when he started coming back, wasn't he? But yeah, and
Yeah.
he'd done nothing for 10 years before that, had he? So he wasn't getting neglected then, was he? He
Well,
was
that's
probably
why he's in
overweight.
Hall of Fame, innit? People keep saying to me he only had so many defences and blah, blah, blah. Look what he did to Joe Fraser, who were undisputed at the time. He like flogged him on the spot, didn't he? He ran
Mm.
through everybody else, and he came back and he won it at an old age. So he's basically in there because of what he did as an old man, isn't he?
Mm. And I
So
mean, he
that's
fought till he
what
was, I think he was
I.
about 40. He fought till he was about 49. No? And most folk thought he beat Shannon Briggs in that last fight, didn't they? But
Got
there was
smashed
an
to bits, though, didn't
FBI inquiry into that, I think, or something.
he? Listen, FBI inquiry into IBF back in there. They have to hand their books in every 12 months, the IBF. You know who told me that? I had dinner with him and Dennis, Lindsay Tucker, a guy from Virginia in America. He
All
said he
right.
were one of big noises at IBF. He said, yeah, they have to hand their books in every year to IBF and IRS and that, and so they're proper on them. That's why they
Hmm.
do everything by the book, innit? The
Yeah.
IBF. Okay. Triple T, the man with the tea towel on his head. He owns Ring Magazine. Bricktop says it's good for the sport. Do you agree? I personally don't because I think they'll manipulate the rankings because it's humans are creatures of habit, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's a
Power
bit
corrupt.
like Al Capone investigating bootlegging, isn't it?
Traditionally, power corrupts, but I think we'll have to give him the benefit of the doubt, see how he gets on, see how he goes with it, and see whether we agree with his rankings that he's given people. I'm hoping it's going to be a fairer thing, and there's going to be less stagnation in the whole world of boxing because all these rematches and all this nonsense. I mean, before Fury fought Usyk the second time, they were talking about a third fight. It's like, what? I don't want to see a third. Why does Usyk have to beat everybody twice? They're wanting him to fight Dubois now. Is he going to have to beat him twice to convince everybody that he's ah, just
You know what
it's just
upsets me, Andy? You know, with all these rematches, where they're signing two fight deals
yeah,
before they've even fought once. And you know what? That bothers me, but I can understand that because they're after money. Like Eubank Ben, they're on about two fight deals and this. They haven't even fought once yet. But didn't they learn anything about Kell Brook, Golovkin?
mm, yeah,
But the other thing that bothers me, why is it you can work hard to get into the number one position, then you wait the 270 days or whatever they call it for the mandatory. They call it every 9 months, don't they? A mandatory. You get into that position and then you get the mandatory slot, so you're getting your title shot next.
yeah,
Why are they giving them step aside, and why have we got uh, rematches for mandatories? What's the point in getting into mandatory spot if you've got to fight the champion twice? They're just inventing it as they go along. So these rules, they're all subject to change all the time. It's wrong. But I don't see anybody pulling them up about it in interviews, do you?
no, no.
I
Was
know
there
it's
no some? Was the Klitschko's no guilty for a lot of that kind of stuff, weren't
forced to, well, they did it for years. I know it's easy for me to say because obviously I worked for a dentist dinner for years, but and I see these moves, and obviously at first I was like, joking me, it was a right eye opener to what really goes on. And I thought, all it is, it's a bunch of insecure, corrupt people trying to manipulate boxers and themselves to get bigger bank balances. And like I said, what's the point in being a mandatory if you've got to beat the champion twice to get a voluntary shot?
they? Yeah.
What's the point in having a mandatory? So there's no point, is there? What's the point in rankings? You see where I'm coming from?
Probably the worst one is fact. Dubois was the champion. Or was he the champion at the time when he fought Big Meech? And Big Meech has got a rematch after getting flogged.
Big Meech has got a rematch clause, and Dubar have been given the belt via an email.
You mean
He
that's
got an
it?
email from IBF saying, "Yeah, you're champ now." What is all that about?
What do you
Eh?
think about what are you? How do you think Fury would get on with Dubois right at this moment?
I don't think he'd be able to beat Dubar. I think he'd have too much
I don't.
vigor. I think he'd be on him like a rush. He'd be unloading on him,
Yeah,
and do you know what I mean? I don't think they'll want to go near him.
no, he just set about them. I think at the
Yeah,
moment, anyway. Yeah.
yeah, they'll put Usyk in with him and let him, and then Fury will want to get Usyk down the line for a rubber match. That's what's going on here. A bit like with Dave Allen. You don't think they're going to put him in with Dave Allen again, do you, Elmer Fudd?
No.
Unless Dave's got mileage on clock, or he's fat as a pig, or he's inactive, and Fisher comes on it next couple of years. They're not going to do that next. But if they don't do that next, how can we buy into him? How can we buy into Johnny Fisher if he don't fight Dave Allen next? How?
He's
How
been.
can you
He's
get
been.
behind? How can them 6,000 tickets that he's supposed to sell every fight in O2? How can all them who buy them tickets buy into him if he don't fight the Rhino next?
He's
How?
been. He's been exposed, isn't he? A bit like Ben Whitaker. He's got to fight Liam Cameron next.
He's got to fight Liam Cameron next him, like Ben Whitaker, or get
Yeah.
gone.
Right.
Got to be run out of the sport or jog. Simple as that. Can Usyk hang in any era,
Yeah,
even the
definitely.
even the 60s and the 70s? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because he's a southpaw. Do you think?
That that and his fitness and his strength, I think, and his skill set, I think he give anybody a run for their money going away. I'm not saying he beat everybody way back, but I think he gave them all a good run for their money. There wasn't many southpaws back then, was there? So it might
No.
be really tricky to deal with for the people back then if there's a lack of southpaws.
So,
Were people discouraged from fighting southpaw back then? Was even like
yeah,
left-handed people forced to fight orthodox?
yeah.
I don't know.
Ben Eubank, is he on?
I mean, this 50-50 nonsense, that's a joke. How can he expect 50-50, Ben?
I know.
I mean, he's won nothing, has he? I mean, Eubank, I think he's won an IBO, but he has competed at the top level, hasn't he, Eubank? So you've got to say he's got to be the A side, hasn't he? And he's no failed drug test, has he? So
Well, he won a British a decade ago, didn't he? Or nearly a decade ago, he won a British, but that's it, really. And I know he's got a
yeah,
couple of IBOs, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, begging balls are out, but I'd say Eubank's in driving seat on that one. Will you?
Aye, definitely. Yeah. I mean, plus Ben's won nothing.
Yeah. What is Eddie's role now? People keep saying he's just an agent for Bricktop. I mean, really gone down the pecking order, and it's like Eddie's like the last conversation in the mix now behind Spencer Brown, isn't he, and Bricktop and Turkey and all that. I mean, he's like an afterthought, isn't he now, Eddie? And they tend to go to him now and Frank Smith after everybody else for a comment, and whatever Bricktop and rest have said, they tend to go here, don't they?
Special Agent Hills, huh?
Yeah. Eddie Hills. Hills.
The
I don't
name's
know.
Hills, Eddie Hills.
Yeah. Dennis McCann, is he getting off light compared to the what Crusher's been put through last 2.5 years?
Yeah, well, probably he probably helps himself by not going on the Piers Morgan show and pleading his innocence.
What do you
So
think
I
of
think
all that carry on, Andy?
I haven't heard any more about it, so we'll have to wait and see what unfolds. But he's doing the right thing if he's keeping low key. I would say, yeah. All this screaming and shouting, "Why me?" and "I'm hard done by" and all that nonsense from Conor Ben was part of his downfall as well as well as failing the test.
Okay. Okay. When are we going to see a good UK boxing show next? When? What is going on here? Have they given up on UK fans now?
I think I think about April time you might see a Turkey putting a big card on with AJ and Big Meech and Fury.
At
I
Wembley.
think at Wembley. I bet you'll find that's the next big one in this country. Probably April or May, I would say.
Yeah.
Easter, big Easter bonanza.
Easter Bonanza. Magnificent Seven. Return of the Magnificent Seven.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Mm. The Good, the Bad, and Bricktop. Uh,
He
who's the
must
biggest,
be
eh?
Bricktop must be pulling his hair out, having to do it and
What is
fight
got left?
Fury's corner. Uh,
Who's the biggest arse licker? That gerbil looking thing from the stomping ground. Coogan or Umar, IFL Umar.
I would say Coogan's the original arse lickers, He's the longest established arse licker, so he's probably he's got it down to an art form now, I would say. But the other
Yeah.
two are hot on his heels, I would say.
You think that they've got no pride in themselves, really?
What can they do, eh? I mean, it's like I just don't understand why people could do likes of that. I've never been an arse licker in all my life, and it's
What about the Gad
genuine.
Andy buying an house on Eddie Earn's street?
I want Eddie Hearn to be my friend.
Imagine Eddie having to drive through Ingatstone in stock in Essex in the morning and the gad there with his red leather on his Harley Davidson. What is all that about?
10:15 at night, I'll hear the Eddie, have you got a cup of sugar I could borrow, please?
Where's the gad go now, though, after all this? Because he's had a lot of stick lately, hasn't he, the gad?
Oh, aye, he's had loads of folk putting on him, eh? Did you watch the thing with Froch? Froch and the Gad
I seen Frotch throw him onto the floor on sand,
on the sand, eh?
and he rolled over and let Frotch tickle his belly, didn't he? Why didn't Frotch backhand him? Why didn't you just put him in an headlock? And as he's putting him in an headlock, just put a little bit of shoulder into it. That's all you've got to do. If I see him, I'll grab him in an headlock. I'll just do what I did to Dennis. I'll just take him down. But I didn't want to mess with Dennis's hair because Dennis had an hair transplant. Then he wanted the first one to have one. I'd take him down. And you know what I'd do? I'd pluck it and leave his head like a Buxted chicken because that's my party piece. You know, if I'm gonna tear up, I get him in an headlock. I'll just pluck it out. You know what I mean? Rip it out in chunks. You know what I mean? That's what I do with it. I'm not bothered about him running around saying he's an eye karate man or whatever they call it.
Hi, karate.
Whatever that is. I'm a karate man. Well, that don't bother me. Listen, do you think that would bother me? Hey, it won't
Probably
bother
got
me.
high karate talcum powder or
I'd
something.
grip that out. And you'd be left with an head like a doll's head. No.
Ah, the
Uh,
Gad.
is Moses Itoma? Is he being rushed? Yes or no?
Uh, a wee bit. I think they're going to have to be careful with him. We don't want to ruin him, eh? I think he's a special talent. I think he's the real deal. But this chasing Mike Tyson's record, is it such a big issue nowadays?
Doing it, aren't they, for PR, aren't they? That's all they're going to. They'll be able to get him the WBO if they thought they were going to be able to. Because if Fury had won, that WBO belt would have been gone for most of the time. They'd have put him in with some stiff and got that record beat. But now they're knackered now, aren't they? Can't
He
do
could
that
probably
now.
he could probably beat Pulev. I think he'd beat Pulev, who's got that
What
WBA
for a
regular.
regular? The regular.
Yeah, that's all he could do, I think, at the moment. He's going to run out of time, isn't he? Because is he not 20? What date is it today? He's 20 tomorrow, I believe.
Well,
Um,
so he's got how many months has he got to do it then? 6 months.
6 months or so, eh?
6 months.
But the thing is, the number of fights don't happen now. Like when Tyson was in his heyday, he was fighting every other week, I think, wasn't he? But
Yeah.
that doesn't seem to happen nowadays, eh?
Well, he'd had a lot of fights before he even went for the title, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Okay. Should Yui's team roll the dice, right, and risk a fight against Bacoli or Atoma to get in the mix, or are they just going to tread water fighting stiffs for another few years? What do you think?
I think they should roll the dice and just go for it. Get a fight against like Caballero or Bacoli. That'd be a springboard into the upper, into
Yeah.
top 10 if he was to beat one of
Yeah.
them, wouldn't it?
I mean, if Yui fights somebody on the level that he's been fighting for the last 12 months or whatever, is he like in the wilderness, or is there something going on behind the scenes where they're not throwing him a bone to get out there? Because it looks like they've been frozen out, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it's just got all gone quiet, isn't it? What about a fight with Fabio Wardley? That'd be a good fight for him.
Fabio Wardley, Fraser Clark, Dave Allen,
Yeah,
uh, the guy who Johnny Fisher could put him in
even
with
Ch-
any. Hey,
even Chisora, he's won
Chisora,
one more fight,
that'd be
hasn't
target practice for you with that Chisora,
he?
wouldn't it?
Yeah. For Dillian White, he's done it all, hasn't
Oh my God, did you? I don't call him Dylan White now. Do you know what I've nicknamed him now? Barry White.
he?
Barry White, innit? Did you see he's bigger than Barry White? Did you see him against Tete other night?
The walrus of boxing.
Did you see that? Fat as a pig,
Yeah.
Michelin man.
Do you
Fat as...
think his Do you think his powers deserted him much in the same way as Conor Ben's powers
No,
deserted
no,
him?
no, no, I don't. I don't think you
No.
lose your. I think you can't pull the trigger because you don't want to get clipped with something coming back because the feet are all over the place, aren't they?
Ah, his feet's terrible, eh? Terrible.
Absolutely shocking. He's gone downhill since you left Mark Tibbs. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. What's happening with his brother or his fake brother? What's going on there? The man with 20 names. What's
Alias.
some big time promoter? What's gone on there? Pop pop bang.
I haven't heard any more about him. Also known as AKA.
What's happening with Big Malk anyway? He's gone quiet, hasn't he?
Was he no shouting about Fury had won or something? Was he no coming out with some nonsense?
Big
I seen a video on YouTube. I never watched it.
a big Malk's got yeah, but if he was sat in Usyk's company, he'd be telling them before they won. Big, you know why they call him Big Malk?
His ideas are big.
Because his ideas are big. And you know what else? Because he wears big giant bins.
Big.
It's them bins that Big Malk wears. Big Malk. Big Malk, the boxer, manager, trainer, promoter.
That's
What's
it.
happened to Big Malk?
Legend in his own lunchtime.
Hey? Big Malk, come see me. Uh, Bricktop came out and he said, and I quote, even Oscar De La Hoya agreed with me. Usyk lost by 3 rounds. Oscar De La Hoya, within 10 minutes, did an interview with that Radio Raheem. He said, yeah, I do Usyk comfortably winning. So, Bricktop, what have you been smoking?
I think I did a video on one channel, Andy's Cavern Boxing, if anybody's interested.
Yeah,
Um,
Andy's boxing, that's where it's at after Porky's Corner.
the Bricktop's front row survey. It's the same with the Dubois fight. Everybody sitting next to Bricktop thought it was a low blow, wasn't it? Everybody sitting next to him thought Fury won. It's like, he's clutching at straws. He's the master straw clutcher.
It's you know what? I can understand going into bat for your fighter, but
Yeah, you got to admire that, but that's it. You've got to be real, though, eh? Be
listen,
real, people.
we all remember Robin Reed fighting Joe Calzaghe, and he
Yeah,
landed more punches on the CompuBox, didn't he, against Joe Calzaghe, and they took a point off Robin Reed, didn't they?
yeah.
Right, which they shouldn't have done. Bricktop, you remember that one, don't you? Well, there's no difference to this one. But it is what it is. Joe Calzaghe got a decision there and he shouldn't have got one. But Fury shouldn't have got that decision and he didn't get it because he lost. Go to the CompuBox. You want to do it when it's okay for you. But look, it
Did you
is what it
see?
is. We know what we're dealing with these people, don't we? They're just trying to cause hype, but appealing on that. Oh my God.
Did you see when the boy asked him about? Did you hear about the AI judge, Frank? And you could see him a glimmer of hope in his eyes, and the AI judge had it wider than the judges had it. So
Listen, they all wanted that though, didn't they? That AI because they're innovators. They kept going on about it, didn't they? We're innovators and we move with the times. Now look at them; they're crying in the soup. And let me tell you this: it's not tomato soup; it's bird's nest soup. Andy, can I ask you this? Will the Rhino ever get over the robbery in the Fisher fight? Yes or no? Because he's milking it to death on his YouTube. Is he going to get over it? Or is it going to be on his tombstone in about 50 years? Here lies Dave Allen was robbed against Johnny Fisher. Is it getting
funny point.
boring now? Yes or no?
Yeah, he needs to forget about it now and move on. Move on, Dave. Get in training for the rematch.
Yeah.
Probably the big.
Joseph Parker, does he beat John Coffey? Yes or no?
Um, you've got to give him a chance. Um, who knows? I think he's more. I think he's got a better chance than Big Meech in a rematch anyway. I think, but I think John Coffey will beat him. But I'd actually rather see Usyk fight Parker than Usyk fight Dubois again. I think it would be a better fight.
What do
So
you think
if
about the police infiltrating boxing? We've got Sugar Hill. He's a serving Detroit policeman, isn't he? We've got
is he?
Les
Oh, I didn't know
Potts.
that.
Yeah, Les Potts of the British Boxing Board of Control, knocked me back for my seconds license. A few years ago,
Yeah,
about 10 years ago that. Les Potts, chief superintendent. at Sheffield. He sat there with my criminal record in front of him. When I had a picture of him when I had a flat top, because obviously I got done for Section 18, didn't I, when I was 23 on a copper. And we've got Leonard Nipper Reid. Remember him who were arrested at Craze?
Ah,
He were
yeah.
at border control years, wasn't he? And we've got that PC Gully I was supposed to have had some heart issue, and Boxing King Media guy, so he's took a year out, and he to do that channel and all that. How are these coppers infiltrating boxing, and what are they picking up on, and are they going back and telling the colleagues about what's going on? What do you think, Andy? Is it bad for the
Hmm.
sport?
It's not a new thing, obviously, though. Nipper
No, it ain't.
Reid's.
No, it ain't. No,
Don't
it
get
ain't.
with
No, I
that.
just don't want him in my company. That's all. But
Ah,
all these staunch people that I know who tell me they're this and that, and they're staunch and they're hardcore and all that, and then I see them hanging out the back of coppers. Houston, we've got a problem. What do you think, Andy?
I don't think they're ever off duty, are they? So if they're never off duty, they're going to be looking into everything, aren't they?
Yeah, there you go. That's what you're up against. 20 stone plus on the night, apparently, when he got in ring. Is that laziness for Fury? That's from Jonathan. He's asked me to ask that. Is it
I don't.
laziness, or did he think that he needed that weight to push Usyk about because he couldn't push him?
Couldn't push him out. I think it's. Did he need that just for maybe insecurity in his mind that he thought, oh, if I'm heavier, I'll be able to push him about. And then I remember Usyk getting interviewed before the fight, and people are going on about the weight. Do you think that will that make any difference? And he's like, no, he's
He can
didn't
adapt
make
to
any
anything,
difference.
can't he? Well, Usyk's training regime, he was sparring with guys 14 stone, cruiserweights for speed, and he was sparring with guys 20 stone, who were trying to push him about. So he were ready for anything, wasn't he, really?
Oh,
You see where I'm coming from? And he were fighting southpaws as well in case Fury switched. Listen, people keep saying, oh, he can switch, he can adapt to all styles. Listen, he switched in it for 5 seconds and got clipped. What did he do after? He switched back. So where with the big switch, man? He's
yeah.
either this big switch hitter that can fight all styles, isn't he? We're talking about a man here who this morning, Jeff Powell in the Daily Mail, got a list of his top 25 defensive specialists in boxing. And he's got Fury in his top 25. How can that be, Andy, when he's hit the deck 8 times? Can you help me on that? Because I'm lost here. Jeff Powell. What are you coming out with there, Jeffrey?
He can look he can look impressive switch hitting against a certain level, but when you start moving up in levels, and it's not so effective, is it? Because
No.
the people can negate that much easier.
Yeah.
Because I think the guy he fought was it Martin Rogan? He fought in Ireland. He fought him
Yeah.
southpaw the whole fight, didn't he? But then Martin Rogan's limited, isn't he?
Martin Rogan, the big doorman, big rogie.
Big tough guy, but limited.
So have you seen his face? Martin Rogan's face. He looks like he's been battered, doesn't he, to death, right? So he's target practice for Tyson him as it's sparring session as
Yeah.
southpaw. But people see him beat Martin Rogan and fighting southpaw, and they think, wow, he can switch to all style. Well, try and switch it against Usyk. He didn't put up with that. When he did, look, like I said before, and I'll say it again, and people at the top level will know this. Once you switch like that, it's because you've exhausted all avenues. Because he knows you can't switch southpaw against the best southpaw in the world. You've got to be on your A game. He's not. He couldn't do it. We spoke about it earlier. So Usyk must have thought you cheeky so and so, and he filled him in straight away. Didn't he? His son went back to orthodox, didn't he? So
Do you remember Usyk's public workout before the first fight? He came out and was just punching orthodox.
yeah, he
That
punched
would have got
off to play his own
that would
mind games, didn't he?
that would, he's a master of mind games, Usyk. He's right inside Fury's head, isn't he?
I saw the
And
gad running around like an headless chicken going on about, yes, well, I was just wondering if Usyk's going to fight Orthodox all the way through the fight. You weapon. Andy, is 16 stone about the optimal, ideal weight now to be in heavyweight? Because, your Martin Bacola is 20 stone. He got flogged by a small man in Hunter. You've just seen what Usyk's done to Fury twice and what he did to Joshua twice and Dubois and that. You think 16 stones Like the weight now. I mean, can you punch even harder if you come out in heavier than that? I don't think you can, mate. I
No.
think punchers, they're delivered by speed, aren't they? And speed kills. It surprises them, doesn't it? Now, if you're
Yeah.
20 stone, you're not going to reach your target as quick, are you? And you're not going to be able to get hard at weight at punches. So, oh, this myth that you need to be a big man and go even bigger, do you think it's just got out of control now? And it's just laziness?
There will be to an extent. Laziness. I mean, 16 stone's obviously the optimum fight for Usyk, but
Yeah,
that's he's got good punch resistance, doesn't he? Some guys, if they got down to that weight, who are probably bigger than Usyk naturally,
yeah,
might might weaken their punch resistance a wee bit, I believe. But they could be in better shape though. Maybe I mean Lennox Lewis is a big guy, but I thought his best fighting weight was about 17.2 or something. He used to look really good at that. But he's also a bigger guy in Usyk. But they should be concentrating on getting down to an optimum weight instead of just coming in way too heavy. I mean, I like Bacoli, but he needs to be lighter, eh?
yeah. Well, this is how I look at it, right? Let's say Usyk got in ring 16 stone, Fury is 20. And if you said, here, Usyk, put this rucksack on your back, there's 4 stone of weights in it, and fight Fury with that on, Usyk could say, oh, I won't be able to get my punches off. Well, that's
Yeah,
no different to Fury not being able to get his punches off because Fury's heart is having to work extra harder with that weight on, right? And this is what I can't understand why people keep blowing up in weight and all that. They're not taking their job serious, mate. That's just how I look at it. I mean, I could be wrong, but
to come in at that weight, he should have been going at it for the first. Just treat it like a 6 round fight. Go at it and try and get him out of there. If you can, you can. But that's what he should have done if he come in. I thought he would have put it on, try to put it on Usyk more, but he just couldn't. I don't think they can. I think people come in there with intentions against Usyk, and he just disarms them, doesn't he? He just nullifies their attacks.
let me tell you a little story. I think I've told this on here before. Do you remember when I used to do my run, 4.4
Mm.
mile it is, and I did it about 89 times with 10 kilo in a rucksack on my back, right? Do you remember what I said to you afterwards? Just the sweat on my body were
Ah,
absolutely unbelievable. And normally I take 2.5 pound off in the morning on that run. I was taking 4 and 5 pound off, with that weight on and
yeah.
gasping could really feel it, all day and that afterwards and that. I'm starting to wonder if Fury's now at that stage where he can't knock the weight off.
Mm. It does get harder to lose weight when you get older, I think. Well, I find that anyway. You've got to
Yeah,
be really disciplined now. You've got to be really disciplined. It seems to go on easier and then it's longer to come off, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, but you've got to be disciplined. I'm probably not as disciplined as I should be a lot of the time, but after the new year, I will be.
Okay. Do you think David Adley's going to get a crack at a big fight now because he's an English title winner? Would you like to see him in with somebody now? What about him against Johnny Bosch? Because Johnny Bosch,
Mhm.
because he's got the win over Dave Allen, he should be slotted into position for that English title because he's already won an area belt, so it's area and English. But I'm not hearing that Elmer Fudd, Johnny Bosch, Johnny Fisher, whatever you want to call him. I don't hear them calling out David Adelaide, do you? Because that's the next natural step in it for Johnny Fisher because he's got area belt and then it's English, then British. So why are they not calling out David Adelaide if they thought they won the Dave Allen fight?
I think he's still in a state of shock, licking his wounds because he was proper bashed up, didn't he,
Oh,
after
bashed
that
up to
fight?
death, mate. Rhino bashed him up in front of our eyeballs, mate. Everybody saw it.
Big bandage on his ear and everything.
Big old bandage on his tab, all face smashed up. He looked like Elephant Man. He did it. He did it. Oh, don't, he's my friend. And everybody's his friend. Mr. Company Man,
Come
innit?
there.
I've got off him. Big stiff. He's like a programmed cyborg, isn't he? You think they'll get rid of Mark Tibbs now they've had a bashing?
Where are they going to go though? Ben Davison.
Go to Ben Davidson. He's the best. The Dark Lord. Maybe they might go to Adam Boo. Adam Boo. Could Adam Boo do anything with him?
Probably no. He's a big fit guy, but he's limited, isn't he? Big fit, strong guy, but
Yeah.
he's got limitations.
Mike Tyson saying he's depressed after Jake Paul fight. He wasn't depressed when he took that 20 million for throwing fight, though, were you, Mike? You convicted nonce. What do you think to that? Convicted nonsense being fawned upon and given £20 million.
I think he must have spent all that money already if he's feeling depressed.
Hey, what is all that about, Andy? Hey, grown men arse kissing him. Like you, in that right, Big Joe Egan, with your fantasy stories, eh? Big fighting man. All I do is see you for years and years talking about fighting on social media. He
Talking
couldn't
of
bust
fighting,
your way
man, where
through,
is
he
he?
couldn't bust your way through a wet paper bag.
I'm saying, talking about fighting, man, where is he?
Well, Big John Fury, big fighting man, 100 on the hard road, 100 by way off. Where
Has he
is the
been?
MI5 are watching me from the moon?
Was he not allowed
MI5.
into Saudi then? What went on there?
Hey?
Was he not allowed into Saudi, or what went on there?
Didn't
Was he
they? Turkey didn't want him there.
no after headbutting that boy in Usyk's team the last time?
No, there were other things as well that he'd done, leading
Right.
up to it. What they've done, you see, right? You give people enough rope, the angler sends, and what they've done, they've got familiar with the surroundings, and everybody arse kissing them, and then they think before you know where you are, they think they're at home.
I
I'm
think
coming from.
they're untouchable.
Yeah, that's what's happened to him, and they've gone. Thank you, but no thank you. We don't want you out here. That's the
Hmm.
bottom line. But behind the scenes now, what he'll be doing he'll be trying to get rid of Sugar Hill.
Aye.
That's what he'll be doing him because that's how he is. He's rotten to the core, you know. He's as rotten as you can get, and it'll all come out about him one day, what he is. You
Hmm.
watch. Oh, get ready. He will crawl away then. But for now, we've got to put up with him, haven't we? But hopefully that's them done now. But I doubt it. He'll be punching for pay, the gypsy loser, till he's about 45, him. Oh, get
Hmm.
ready. And then it'll be wrestling and this and that and blah, blah, blah. They'll figure a way around it because they've got the platforms, haven't they?
That's what I thought he'd go down the wrestling avenue because he's done that already, hasn't
Yeah, that's what they'll do. They'll just go on to that and blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? They can't help themselves. Once you've had a taste of it, you can't let it go.
he? Hmm.
So that's about it, really. So, have you anything you want to say or add, Andrew from Aberdeen?
I don't think so. Boxers in need.
Boxers in need and Gary's thing. Everybody get in touch with them.
Give him a shout out. £12 a year.
I think he's
Uh,
just gone back out there today, Gary.
he's just what? He's away.
I think he's gone back out to Spain today. He sent me a
Is he?
message this morning. Did a 16-kilometre run with Sparkling John.
Good on him, aye. Well
Yes, a
done,
lot,
Gary.
lot of that in it for Gary. That so.
Mm.
I know why he's done it. He'll have been trying to burn that Christmas dinner off that he'd have had.
That's
Oh,
10 miles, 16K.
yeah.
10
So,
miles.
some going in it, kid.
Oh, aye.
So, all right then, Andy. Well, listen, thanks for coming on.
Been a pleasure.
All right. Well,
Enjoyed it.
listen, you have a good evening. What's left of it, kid.
Will do. We'll catch up soon.
Cheers, pal.
Okay, mate. Take care.
Bye.
All the
Bye.
best. Cheers.
Bye. Well, that were Andy from not from Aberdeen. Women love him, men fear him. That's about it. Big Jerry in Ireland. Hope you're well. That's me done. So, okie dokie. Thanks for liking and subscribing and sharing the videos. I want to thank everybody who's subscribed in the last couple of days. That's fantastic, that. Nice to see a few people give me a little bit of respect because a lot of time and effort goes into these videos. Okie dokie. So, I think we only need about 12 people now to get to 15,000, which has took some time, hasn't it, that? Bloody hell. But we don't buy subscribers and we don't buy views. Probably because we're peppermint. Go on, peace out. Booyaka. Big shout out to Mark, Sid. Oh, and Stoke. Hope you're well, lad. Pop, pop, bang.